Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Ashmit is here with us to apprise us of all of the latest details on this. Ashmit, go ahead.
Right. What we understand is that the NGT has now formed a judicial committee. The judicial committee will be comprised of one retired judge, ideally a retired Supreme Court judge. We also have representation from the CPCB as well as the MOEF. The idea of the NGT orders essentially is that this is a technical issue that is best decided by technical members, and towards that end, this judicial committee will now be responsible for deciding the course of the journey going forward. A few important things. Number one is that both sides, the TNPCB on one hand and Vedanta on the other hand, will be allowed to make their submissions. The judicial committee will be at liberty to review technical data to go visit the site. But what's important is that number one, the NGT has said that the report ideally needs to be filed within 8 weeks from today. 2 weeks for forming of the committee, and then subsequently 6 weeks after that for forming of a final report. What's also critical is that the NGT, as far as this report is concerned, this report will play a critical role deciding the course of the journey forward, as a fresh order will then have to be passed by the TNPCB on whether or not to renew the consent to operate, and that will be based on the report of the Judicial Committee. On a side note, an equally important issue here, Vedanta for long had been seeking access to the plant for providing maintenance facilities, to do maintenance work. That request has again been shot down by the NGT. No relief coming their side. What the NGT has said is that as far as the maintenance work is concerned, it will have to be done by the CPCB in conjunction with the MOEF. Both these players will be the ones responsible for maintenance work. As for administrative purposes, the relief that had been granted earlier to Vedanta, that continues, that they will be at liberty to send their representatives for administrative works. But the maintenance prayer has been denied. So all eyes now, as far as both TNPCB as well as Vedanta are concerned, on this judicial committee and the report that is likely to come out within 8 weeks from today.
Ashmit, just a quick follow-up. What happens once this particular report does come out? What are the next steps after that?
Well, not formally as a part of the order, but what we understand is that by way of its observations at least, the NGT has clarified its intent. The NGT has said that once the committee comes out with the report shall be binding upon the TNPCB, and then based on that report, the TNPCB will have to pass fresh orders on whether or not to renew the consent to operate. What's interesting here is that this order of the NGT stands in substitution of the orders for closure that had been passed by the TNPCB. What that effectively means is that should TNPCB, after considering the Judicial Committee's report, decide not to renew the consent to operate, that will mean fresh litigation for Vedanta. That would mean a fresh challenge can be issued by Vedanta. But of course, that's in the domain of speculation for now. The NGT clarifying that the Judicial Committee report will in fact have to be considered by the TNPCB, and subsequently fresh orders will have to be passed. Back to you.